Hey, Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Rahu in the Sun Nakshatras. So this will be in the nakshatra of Krittika, Uttara Phalguni, and Uttara Ashadha. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So firstly, we have to understand, what does Rahu represent in our birth chart? And Rahu is all about our desires, our ambitions in life. It is what we are always focused towards. Rahu is the head of the entity known as Swarbhanu. So Rahu is where our head is always focused towards. It is our cleverness. It is our ability to strive for something in life. Rahu also shows obsessions, fears. It is the area where we lack experience that we desire to have in this lifetime. And so naturally, Rahu shows the karmas that we are here to learn, to experience in life. It is an area where we feel this lack of experience, this lack of understanding, but we are still trying to move towards it. And we see this back and forth seesaw effect with Rahu and Ketu, as Ketu represents our past life experience, the things that we are familiar with, that we are comfortable with. But Ketu also is where we detach. Ketu is the key to our spiritual liberation. So there's this back and forth seesaw. When we become too unfamiliar, uncomfortable with the things of Rahu, we tend to escape back to Ketu. But our desires, our ambitions, keep moving us in this direction of Rahu. Now, what does the sun represent? The sun is a pure being. The sun represents our soul. It represents the true purpose of why we come into this life. It is our spiritual path, our spiritual journey. The sun burns and purifies out anything that is unpure. Sun actually is here to burn our karmas. It is here to punish us, to show us our way towards our spiritual higher self is seen through the sun's position. So the sun is the true self. It is who we really are. It is the true purpose, the true path that we have come to move towards in this lifetime. In the Jaimini system, we use chara or movable karakas, which are going to show us different planets that represent different things in our chart. And so we can have an Atmakaraka that is a completely different planet, but Sun still remains as the stira or fixed Karaka of the soul. So it represents that higher self, that higher path. Sun is all about truth. Sun is all about our individual path. It shows our true self. Sun is not concerned with the opinions of others. It is all about standing in our own truth and power. Sun also, in a material sense, shows our ability to rise in life, our ability to rise to fame, to wealth, to prominence. Sun shows people in positions of power, authority, government. Sun shows our relationship with a father figure as well. And the lower nature of the sun is always going to be ego. When we take that sun energy too far, we become arrogant, selfish, egocentric. So this is what sun represents in the chart. And so naturally, the nakshatras that are ruled over by the sun, Krittika, Uttara Phalguni, Uttara Ashadha, are all about this pure solar energy. It is all about truth. It is all about staying true to who you are and not focusing towards the opinions of others. It is all about individuality. It also shows our potential to gain success, to move to this position, especially in the last asterism of Uttara Ashadha. It shows the peak of our victory or success, as it is the Ashadha, the invincible one. The Sun nakshatras also are seekers of spirituality because, once again, Sun shows the path of the soul. So these positions, while they can be materialistic, they also have this desire to seek answers, to seek wisdom, to seek truth in life. They are focused towards the higher spiritual journey. And we can see that the sun nakshatras start at the tail end of each of the fire rashis in Vedic astrology and move into the first 10 degrees of the earth rashis. So especially in the solar rashis and the fire rashis, it is focused towards power, position. It is all about leadership. leadership, authority. And moving into the earth part of the nakshatras, it is showing more of this intellectual side, more of this practical side that is focused towards the earthly practical concerns. There also tends to be a service attitude that is seen in the sun nakshatras as well. Especially in Uttara Ashadha, there is a focus towards wanting to make a huge difference, wanting to make a huge change within society. In Uttara Phalguni, it is more so of this Virgo energy of wanting to solve problems, wanting to use analytical skills to help those in need, this healing and helpful ability. In Krittika, it is more towards social justice, towards fighting against the injustice in society. And especially Krittika is focused towards the protection of children, the protection of those who cannot fend for themselves. So what happens then when Rahu moves into the Krittika nakshatra? Well, again, we have to understand that the sun is this pure entity that is about our soul, that is about our spiritual nature, about our higher self, where Rahu is more towards our desires, towards the worldly things. So Rahu is a little bit uncomfortable to be in these sun-ruled nakshatras. At the same time, though, Rahu being here is going to increase the desire nature. It's going to increase that ability to strive towards something. Again, sun shows our ability to rise in life. So the ambition is very powerful in these three nakshatras when Rahu enters, especially again in the last nakshatra, which is that peak of victory, peak of success in Uttara Ashadha. Rahu gives tremendous results in the material world. Rahu in Krittika, though, Krittika is all about purification because Krittika is ruled over by the god of fire, Agni, which is about fire rituals. It is about purifying things through spirituality. It also is represented by a sharp blade, which is about cutting things out, removing what no longer serves us. And so Krittika becomes all about this purification, this ridding of things that need to go. And this can show an ability to cut, to edit, to cook, to deal with sharp objects, or to be sharp and cutting in terms of intellect and communication abilities. It can show this speech that is cutting, that is straightforward, that is honest, that is trying to get directly to the point. Krittika is a nakshatra that is famous for being very critical, for criticizing others, because again, it is all about getting to the truth, getting to what really makes sense. Krittika, as I mentioned earlier, is also about protecting others. So while Krittika can seem harsh and cutting at the surface, there is a soft center to Krittika. It is very much about nurturing, caring for people. There is this parental side to Krittika. And so they especially are concerned about the rights of children. But Krittika also is focused towards helping those in need, towards standing up again against the injustice, against the crimes of society, wanting to stand up to protect those in need. So there is a heroic side, a bold, courageous side to this Krittika nakshatra. Now, the Taurus side and the Aries side of Krittika is slightly different. As I mentioned earlier in this video, the fire signs are more about power, are more about position, especially in Aries and Leo, which we will talk about as we continue through this. And so in Aries, this almost gives a military-like attitude to the individual when Rahu comes into Krittika in that first pada. This makes a person extremely goal-oriented, ambitious, someone who is determined to conquer, to succeed in life. This is an excellent position for a politician, for someone who is in a leadership position, someone who is involved with military, who is involved with protecting, being in these heroic roles in life, can be seen in the first pada of Krittika. This also, of course, can give great skills in cooking, great skills in creativity, great skills in editing, in dealing with anything that is creative that involves cutting. This shows great potential because Rahu is naturally creative. Remember that Rahu is a very clever planet that is all about doing things in a unique and different way. So this gives a huge creative touch to anything that is involved with cutting. One of the difficulties, though, with Rahu and Krittika can be using this energy in a wrong way. Krittika is a nakshatra that can cause a lot of pain by being too cutting, by being too harsh in its approach. And Rahu in Krittika is going to increase this even further. So definitely with this position, you want to watch out for anger issues. You want to watch out for being too aggressive, too forceful in your approach. This can definitely cause some problems with this position for sure. One of the positive things about Rahu in Krittika, though, is that, again, it makes you very protective. It makes you someone who is dedicated to the people that you care for. So this is an excellent position for a great friend, for a great family member, for someone you know will stand up for you, who will stand by your side in difficult times. This position also shows, again, strong sense of individuality because the sun already shows that individuality, and Rahu is just amplifying this even more. So this definitely is going to make an individual very unique, very much about who they are as an individual. Doing things in their own creative and brilliant way can be seen when Rahu is in Krittika. In Taurus, it can increase the material desires as well, because Taurus is a very luxurious sign. It wants to enjoy the practical material aspects of life. So definitely it can show an increase in wanting to gain material things and wanting to gain enjoyment out of life. Also, it can show someone who is very compassionate, someone who wants to connect, who wants to build these close connections with others. Because Taurus, again, is ruled by Venus, which is all about love, which is all about connection, this attachment. So that can be seen also. Sometimes Rahu and Krittika can make a person skilled in banking as well, because Taurus is all about, again, that material side of life. So it can show skills related to finances, skills related to dealing with money. And with Rahu being a very clever planet that wants to take shortcuts, that wants to try things that are out of the box, it could even get a person involved in stocks and anything that is risky in terms of making wealth and money as well. Definitely, Rahu in Krittika shows a lot of activity. Someone who just wants to keep going in life, who wants to keep pursuing something. That fire keeps burning with this position. This is the star of fire. So huge energy, huge ambition is in here. These are people who are always active, always pursuing something in life. And so they don't really like a life where they are sitting still. Even at an older age, they are trying to pursue some sort of goal or purpose in life. Now let's talk about Rahu in Uttara Phalguni, which starts off at the end of Leo and dips into the first 10 degrees of Virgo. So there is definitely a difference between Leo and Virgo, because Virgo is very logical, it's very practical. It wants to analyze, break down all of the details, solve problems. It is all about healing, helping, coming up with solutions. Where Leo is more about coming from the heart space, doing what is in your heart. So there is a slight difference between these two. But for both of them, Rahu in Uttara Phalguni gives a huge thirst for learning, for gaining knowledge in life, because Uttara Phalguni is very much a scholar nakshatra. It is about learning. It's about gathering information. It is very much geared towards wanting to know things. But again, in Virgo, it becomes more of this practical, logical side of things, which can create a lot of overthinking also. Naturally, with Rahu and Uttara Phalguni, this makes a person who is extremely bored with things that are more surface level. Even in relationships, this can show an individual who is bored by just the physical attraction, but is more interested in a more intellectual side of things. Uttara Phalguni is very much into witty banter, is into farming this more intellectual, mental connection with others. This person is going to be interested in wanting to learn from people who have impressive knowledge, people who can outsmart them, people who can one-up them in a discussion, someone who seems intelligent. This is a person who is always looking for more knowledge, to learn more in life. And this can definitely show incredible intelligence because Rahu, again, unconventional, is able to think outside the box, extremely creative, clever. And so in Uttara Phalguni, this can give huge potential to gain extraordinary knowledge with this position. But again, one of the things with this, especially on the Virgo side, is overthinking, is asking too many questions, getting too analytical and critical about the details. And so sometimes there is a need to silence the mind. There's a need to be more grounded with this energy to really get into that true intelligence, not just the surface level information, but also really gaining that true wisdom that comes through this Uttara Phalguni nakshatra. Because this shows great communication skills, great writing skills, it can show someone who excels in fields that involve communication, writing, research, dealing with information, using your skills and intellect in a very clever way. Virgo, also being the sign of healing and being a very technical sign, could also make a person skilled in technical and medical field also. Naturally, this makes a person very talented and skilled with the use of the hands. We know that in the middle part of Virgo, we have Hasta, which shows the hand, and Mercury also rules the hands naturally as the third house of Gemini rules over the hands. So this can make a person very talented, very artistic, very clever with the use of the hands as well. But really, this can make a person skilled in research, in literature, in writing, and dealing with information. This is someone who wants to get to the bottom of things, who wants to investigate, who wants to learn. This also could make a person skilled in accounting and dealing with finances, because again, Virgo is a very practical sign, a very business savvy sign. Especially in Uttara Phalguni, it is all about dealing with contracts, negotiation, commitment. It is showing that ability to do business. Sometimes with this position, there can also be a tendency to seek validation. Virgo, once again, is a sign that's very helpful, that wants to help people, that wants to solve problems, wants to do things for others, very service-oriented. But the problem here is that there can be sometimes a tendency to get overlooked for the things you do for others. And this can give a desire for recognition, for validation, for wanting that appreciation through other people. And so sometimes this can also create some obstacles with this position as well. Definitely, you want to find that sense of approval within yourself, because once again, this is a sun nakshatra, which is all about who you are, what is true to you, what is in your heart. So it's important to connect back to your sense of individuality with this placement. Also with this position, because part of this falls in Leo, this could make a person very regal as well, wanting to live a lavish life, wanting to experience the royal things in life. This is someone who definitely wants to be seen, noticed, who wants to get that recognition in life. And naturally, especially on the Leo side, but even into the Virgo side, it can show acting skills. It can show doing very well in performance, being on stage, being before an audience with this placement also. The biggest thing about Rahu in Uttara Phalguni, though, is all about gaining knowledge and wisdom. That thirst, that hunger to learn is very strong with this position. Sometimes Rahu in Uttara Phalguni can also show someone who is skilled in politics, both on the Leo and Virgo side. Leo, because it is about being on stage, being before an audience. Leo is the performer, but Virgo also shows skills in politics as well. So let's talk about Rahu and Uttara Ashadha. Atara Ashadha is the peak of the sun nakshatras. So it shows the peak of this solar energy. It is the victory. It is the peak of success, as I mentioned before. Uttara Ashadha is a very powerful position because both of the Ashadas in the nakshatra system are all about war, are all about victory, all about overcoming challenges, conquering. So this is a very powerful position. Uttara Ashadha is all about this ability to rise from nothing, to face challenges and obstacles in life, and to rise to the peak of success. So it is a nakshatra that shows a rags to riches story. It shows a person who puts in a tremendous amount of work, effort, goes through a tremendous amount of struggle and difficulty in life, and finds their way to the top, creates a path for themselves in life. So this is an incredibly powerful position. Now, Sagittarius and Capricorn are going to be slightly different for this. So in the first pada, which falls in Sagittarius, it becomes all about the person's belief system, because Sagittarius is that original ninth house of our higher beliefs, of our principles in life. So definitely Uttara Ashadha in the Sagittarius part is going to show someone who is trying to form their own belief system. Because again, Rahu is very unique. It is very much about thinking outside the box. So this is someone who forms their own system of belief based upon their experiences in life. This is someone also who can make a great teacher, a great consultant, a great inspiration to others, a motivator, someone who's able to take their personal experience and to share that principle with other people. This position definitely can make a person feel as though they know everything, though, because Rahu, again, likes to take those shortcuts. But still, they make excellent coaches, teachers, people who can lift others up with this placement. And Capricorn is definitely going to be more oriented towards material success, towards striving for status, power, recognition, being in that top position. And so overall, when Rahu is in Uttara Ashadha, this definitely makes a person geared towards striving for peak success in life. This is someone who wants to work hard, to put in the time, the effort to make it in life. They find their path, especially with Rahu being very unique and Uttara Ashadha being a sun nakshatra, which is also about individuality. This person finds their own way in life. They are extremely individualistic. They know who they are. They know what's important to them. They know what they're about, and they are able to put in the effort and the ambition to strive for something successful in life. And this is a person who will definitely go through a lot of hardship because, again, Uttara Ashadha is about overcoming those challenges to get a victory. It is represented by the planks of a bed, which are hard, which is about really putting in the hard work and effort to strive for something. And of course, Atara is referring to something that comes after. So this is the late victory. This is the victory that requires putting in a tremendous amount of struggle and difficulty, striving through difficulty in order to reach the top. So this is a person who definitely has a story of struggle, of difficulty that has led them to this position of success. Uttara Ashadha is also about social networking because it is Saturn ruled as it comes into the sign of Capricorn. So it understands the social dynamics. It understands how to connect to people who will give opportunities, who will help the person strive to success. It understands how to be in that situation, dealing with work, dealing with colleagues, dealing with connections that can help with success in life. So this is definitely a person who is going to gain that higher position in life. And this is especially true if the sun and if Saturn is placed really well in the chart. For the Capricorn side of this, you really want to see where are the dispositors in the chart, how strongly are they placed. But this is a person who definitely has this potential to be very successful in life. This is a person who is very much focused towards career, towards building something solid and long-lasting for themselves. This is the victory that lasts in Uttara Ashadha. And like all the other sun nakshatras, this can make a person highly clever and intellectual as well. Especially with Rahu in there, it gives this cleverness, this ingenious, this ability to be unique in one's thinking. So this is definitely going to increase that for sure. Mainly, though, this is a great position of Rahu on the material side for this Uttara Ashadha nakshatra. This makes a person highly ambitious and motivated and clever in the world, which can lead ultimately to their success and achievement. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you like this, feel free to leave a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. If you're interested in any of my services, I have it all listed on my website. The link is down below in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video.